Is Islam Makhachev hiding a mean streak that can be the UFC's saving grace? Chael Sonnen believes so. Elsewhere, a former opponent pointed out Alex Pereira's weaknesses that Khalil Rountree Jr. can exploit. Here are today's top combat sports updates, presented by Sportskeeda MMA's News Roundup. During pre-Zuffa days, the UFC had earned a notorious reputation after being called human cockfighting by former U.S. Senator John McCain. The promotion was having trouble obtaining permission from local commissions to host events in multiple states. According to King of the Cage founder Terry Trebilcock, the whole thing was orchestrated by WWE and pro boxing authorities to stop the UFC from eating into the pay-per-view market share. Trebilcock said on JAXXON Podcast, "Everybody to a certain degree was working together to try to keep a sport alive that John McCain, Vince McMahon, and Don King were trying to keep down because it was affecting boxing and pro wrestling. They got John McCain to get behind them on a smear campaign." Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen recently got to talking about the lack of superstars the UFC will suffer from in the next few years. With Conor McGregor keen on fighting out his contract, Jon Jones hinting at retirement, and even Alex Pereira turning 38 years old next year, the promotion could run out of marquee names to be the face of the company. However, Sonnen believes Islam Makhachev can easily take that spot. The Dagestani only needs to tap into his more villainous persona, like when he openly named fighters who did not deserve to have black belts. During a recent episode of Goodbye, Bad Guy podcast, Sonnen said, "That guy is so charismatic and he is so secretly funny. If he was to do a heel turn. I mean, come on," he said, one of the great heel lines ever. He said a whole bunch of professors should be taking their black belts back from guys like that angle. That is blasphemy in this sport and nobody even knows got it. It was like this G-rated line. He didn't use profanity, he didn't yell. When he said it nicely. That is a heel move. What if he did a whole bit on that? Sonnen then went on to suggest imaginary stipulations where Makhachev would ask his opponent to put up their jiu-jitsu belts on the line while he stakes his UFC belt. Alex Pereira is set to defend his light heavyweight belt against Khalil Rountree Jr. at UFC 307 on October 5, 2024. Ahead of the event, Pereira's former opponent, Jamahal Hill, has some advice for the challenger. The things that Khalil has going for him is, 1. He's a southpaw. 2. And he has valuable threats from southpaw. Hill went on to point out that Pereira struggled against fighters with a southpaw stance even during his kickboxing days. Moreover, Israel Adesanya used a similar stance when he knocked Poten out during their UFC rematch. Can he beat southpaws? Yes. But I haven't seen him really dominate a southpaw that has multiple threats from southpaw. If you have weapons from southpaw, he struggles, he definitely struggles.